Evidence. Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. Live.
Good evening and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Tony Rathman.
I'm Chris Allgood.
I am Audra Keeler.
I'm Lourdes Gonzalez.
I'm Ron Yacovetti, and I'm happy to be here with the 5 people who just said their names. Or 4 people. I'm the 5th person. I'm happy to be with me too. Don't get me wrong. Me and I go way back. Me and I. Us too.
Well, it's really great to have Chris and Audra back. They were out last week because of the wedding. Cherie was with us last week, but she is back to doing her overtime. She worked like the entire weekend just so she could be on Monday's show. But fortunately, she's back to her overtime. But she will be joining us come November. So hopefully.
Yay!
Yes. Next week?
Yes, it is next week. It's coming up so fast. But tonight, we have a fantastic guest. We have Kayla Simonton from one of the founders of Dayton Haunted Explorers. And she is not only an investigator and a good one, but she supplied some great evidence for us that we're going to get to review tonight, both clips and, I must say, some fantastic photographs that not only are just photographs, but she did comparisons showing where it was taken, some cool stuff. So I'm super excited to take a look at that. But why don't we introduce her first? So here comes Kayla.
Ta-da!
Hey, Kayla.
Kayla.
Good to see you all again. Long time no see.
I know. We missed you.
I missed you too.
So, Kayla, for our audience who may or may not be familiar with you, tell us how you got involved in the paranormal, what started it for you, and how it led you up to where you are today.
Well, I wish I could have like a really cool story, but I don't. So I'll just start by saying I've always had an interest in it. So anything I could read, anything I could watch, I would always be on. You could just always learn. And then about 10 years ago, I started Dayton Haunted Explorers. I thought I've always kind of done this on the side, but I've never put it out publicly. People are going to think I'm nuts. And then one day I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to create the Facebook page for it. And I'm like, create. And I'm like, it could go either way. People are going to shun me or they're going to love it. And we skyrocketed. And I'm like so impressed and like grateful for that every day. And then over the years, I've met so many good people like, you guys here. So there's always more to learn. And I have plenty to teach. And it's just like it's a great field. I love it.
Now, why would you say that's not a great story? Because that was a great
story. Personally, I feel like everybody's like, well, I saw a creature with blue eyes and it was, doing this and it was throwing lightning from its fingertips or something. I don't know. I don't have anything like wild like that. So.
I don't know if you saw Rod's promo, but I think you do.
Okay, maybe.
I might have exaggerated a wee bit.
Maybe a little bit.
But you know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, I remember back in 2010 I was probably 11 or 12 before we actually posted something because I kept putting everything we captured on drives. And finally my wife says, you ever going to share that? I'm like, why? Because people may want to see it. I'm like, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Exactly.
And so went through the same thing. And then we started finally started posting it, and the response was pretty great. I mean, you get those one-offs that doesn't matter what you show, they're going to rip you from end to end, but you just got to ignore those. But the community is really good, and the people in it are fantastic, and most are extremely supportive, and so it's a good community. It really is.
You've got to be open-minded to do this, so you have a really great accepting group of people who are involved.
And just to confirm all the myths, we are crazy.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, exactly. But yeah, there's a movement now, and love it or hate it, media and television did kickstart that to the degree when people like us that in the last 10, 15, 20 years felt comfortable enough to go, there's a contingency out there. I can share this, and then some people might love it. And you're never going to have the whole world singing Kumbaya, holding hands, going, ghosts are real. So, I mean, we got what we got. And I think the more people, like all the good people who are on screen right now, that keep doing this, as well as the people who are our audience, the better it is. We're trying to move something that is a paradigm shift. And it's not, and Tony, you said it brilliantly the other day on someone else's show, one person does not make that result.
Right.
That'll never happen. Only as a community and a group will we even possibly be able to get some, not only answers, but some forward momentum. And let's be honest, the forward momentum, there's been some, but that's the one area of the paranormal that's really lacking. I mean, everybody today likes to go out and ghost hunt and get that jump scare or get that, piece of evidence, but to be able to connect those pieces is really the bigger picture of being able to say, okay, how is this happening? Why? What do we know? How can we build on that? What other theories can we apply and test? And so, that's really the end result. Sorry, that's my phone going absolutely.
That's right. Can I correct myself too? There is actually one instance within which one person could actually do it, and that would be Anthony Simonelli, because he knows a guy.
knows the guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
I know a guy.
He knows a guy. Make a couple of calls. You saw this. You didn't see that. Witnesses. Boom.
Well,
it's all real.
And to add to the points that you guys are making too, something that mainstream media is noticing, and the reason why it's starting to get so popular, has gotten popular over the last 10 to 15 years, is because of people like Kayla and the people we have on the show, and people like us. When we show our evidence, we're showing credible stuff.
Right.
We're not throwing a bunch of bull crap out there and saying, hey, look at this green glob that I photoshopped into a photo. We're actually showing stuff that can't be disproved, and that sparks people's attention and makes them want to watch. So
that's an excellent point, Chris.
Always bring more to the table to back up what you're going to put out. That's one thing I've learned. I'm like, I'm going to put this out there and somebody's going to try to dispute it. And then I go, hold on. I have the other two timestamps for you to compare it to. So
there you go. It's called up.
Yeah.
It's also an example of a great investigator, because Chris, Ron, you guys, every one of the group has said this multiple times, but you got to know your surroundings. You got to know what's around, who's around, where they're at. Somebody spoke or not spoke, or if there's light coming from a car in a picture. And obviously, if you, Kayla, have that backup to be able to give them that second shot, you're doing those steps, and that is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, Kayla supplied just some great stuff, and I'm really excited to go through this. So she has both photos and some video for us to review tonight. And again, like I said, sorry, I'm just reading a message. Let me pull up.
Hold on, let me.
Sorry, everybody text Tony now. Dear Tony. We're with you, sir.
Send me a text message. I'll read it, and then
your mouth is right over you, sir.
Pause in the show.
Jean from Chicago just posted she's in a relationship.
Yeah, she is not. Well, I just wanted to say hi to Anthony and Jeff and everybody. Olivia, I saw her on here too. I just wanted to say thank you guys. I'm glad everybody made it over. Casey, Ben Jenkins. This is all my gang here. I'm so glad they made it over this platform.
Yeah,
that's
you don't
awesome.
accumulate a gang from doing shoddy work or with bad people skills too. And that's for people watching equally important because it's a community.
Right.
And there's a little bit too much of a population that likes to pee in the community pool they're swimming in. And I think
That's true.
I think we need not do that. We need not do that. We need to support each other. And that's what we love about this show. And that's why we're excited to share what you brought to the table tonight, because every week we get to see what other people who aren't us, have and captured and where they did it. And it's fascinating every time to see what people get.
It's so true.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, and she's got some great stuff here. Now, all these pictures are just numbered. So I'm just going to share my screen, and you can tell me, some of them have the actual location where it was shot.
Okay.
But let me share my screen here. And we'll pull up the first one. There we go. Oh, I can take this away.
Were you typing me a letter on there?
Those were the original. Always want to make sure I get the name right and where you're from, because it's really embarrassing when you put something up and the person goes, "That's not me."
Yeah.
I've been in more movies than that.
I'm not Gene from
Oh, that
Chicago.
was the worst one, Chris. I knew he was in like 75 movies, and what did I ended up saying? Like
38.
30, yeah.
35, but
Yeah, 48.
Half Eddie.
I think I said like 38, and he
Yeah.
goes, "Whoa."
I was in the 30s.
Yeah, that was not good. So, Kayla, what are we looking at in this photo?
Okay, so this one is a progressive photo. So this is at the Brendu Manor, and this is up in, I believe it's still Granville in Ohio. So the first one, we're down in the basement, and I was saying, we're being watched. We're being watched. And I was like, I can't figure out what's going on back there, but I know we have eyes on us. And we were getting a lot of responses from back there. Unfortunately, it was a tight squeeze, so we didn't really spend too much time back there. The second one, I kind of zoomed in. You can start to see the figure there. And it's peeking around that wall right here.
Yeah.
And then you see it's kind of black and white still. So on the third one, I really lightened it up and I added a different color to it, so you'd be able to see it more defined, I guess. But that's a woman, and she's got like a shirt similar to like this, or a dress.
And she's blocking out the light from whatever is in the background there too.
Right. Yep. And she's kind of like halfway looking, and I was like, oh my God, that is exactly. You can see her neckline of the dress. You can see one eye, nose, mouth, everything. I mean, when I really like lightened that up and looked at it, I was like, what? I'm not crazy. That's validation there. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see the pattern in what looks like the fabric of the dress.
Now here you go. Pull it up a little bit. I wish I could use my mouse and kind of pointer to you, but all the way up towards the top.
Yeah, she's blocking out the doorway, Tony.
Right there.
There
yeah.
she is.
Yep,
see?
I see it.
Right there. Yep. So I don't know who exactly. I don't know if she was somebody like that was her home or what, but
her arms blocking the light.
She was definitely wanting to know what we were there for.
Yeah, the eye and nose thing.
Yeah.
That's I'm not sleeping tonight. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Right, and that's your typical horror movie photo.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that eye
I'm here.
that eye
And
looks sunken.
It's a perfect example of the eye of an investigator. Sorry, Tony. Is if you look at the first succession of that picture, any normal person looking at that goes, "Hey, it's a basement."
Right.
But a true investigator goes, "Hey, wait a minute. There's an abnormality there. It's situational awareness. You know what you saw with your eyes, and then you know what you're catching in the picture, so you start to enhance it a little bit more until what you're seeing stands out enough for everybody else to see it." That's fantastic.
That's a brilliant point, and also the discipline and the passion for the field itself, because the only reason you would care to put extra time into looking into that much detail is if you're really in pursuit of something that it's unknown, that you to have something anomalous captured. Or you wouldn't care. You'd look at it and you would say it's just a basement.
And
Right.
or you might just say, wow, that's a woman. But for me, I'm like, yes, that's a woman. But also, I want to dig up the history. I want to find pictures of the women who have lived in that house in the past, compare it, and try to track down who that is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would be fascinating if you had actually matched the facial features on the front of that.
Yeah. I know at Bel Air House, I've been able to do it. So, and a few other places. So once you really actually can like put the two together and see, it's like, oh my God, I know who we're dealing with for a fact, you know?
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, the fantastic thing about the way you, in the third photo, the fantastic thing about that is a lot of people will say, well, is it possible matrixing? But the details in the nose, the sunken eye socket, I mean, the definition of the chin, that there's no way that's a matrixing. That's it's not pixelated, it's not distorted. That is a clear picture once you enhanced it there. That's fantastic.
That's true because if you look on top, which I think is matrixing, it looks like to be another face, but it looks like, you see it?
Yeah, but it's obviously part of like the basement. It's like a brick or something.
You know? That's a great example, Lourdes. Yeah, that's
right. But that's a good example because the woman has a lot of detail. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can almost see her upper lip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Right there.
She was there. There's no denying.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fantastic to have caught that because that could have been easily missed.
Yep.
And not all this stuff for people watching. Not all this stuff is jump scare quality, like like, you know. Sometimes because of however the world or realm they're in connects or bleeds into ours or fuses, overlaps, whatever. Sometimes the level of visibility or audible saturation is low.
Right.
And when you have this stuff, you don't need jump scares because when I get home and I look at this, I'm like, that was right next to me. That was right there.
This is a prime example that Tony and Cherie and Audra and I have talked about lots of times about the hospital at Phelps Dodge, the Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center. There's been nights we were in there and we didn't think we caught a thing, and we got more evidence from not thinking anything was going on.
That's that picture. We had such a quiet night. We got like very minimal interaction, but we got that. I mean, and that takes the cake. I mean, it was a good night, you know?
That's the best comment right there.
Anthony Seminole wants to know if it's me. Listen over there.
That was when he had his dress on, yeah.
Yeah.
His favorite dress.
My favorite dress where I peek around corners in it.
It's so beautiful in it.
That makes one person.
I love you guys. Now, this one, nothing paranormal. Well, I mean, there's plenty of paranormal, but this is just to show what we do. Every event, we do a communication session here. So I just wanted people who have never seen it to be able to see kind of what that would look like. So this is in a museum. It's Steve Hummel's Archive of the Afterlife in West Virginia, and it's got jam-packed full of haunted artifacts in there. I just stopped by his new location last week and did a little investigation there for a few hours, and it's always active. I mean, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, this guy's got so much amazing stuff in there. And this was hands down one of the best sessions we've ever done. I had two other people that were asking questions. Steve was one. He was talking about, I could hear when I watched back the video, he said, hey, come on, Dan, like, let's go out in the hallway. And right as they're about to walk in the hallway, there's a huge bang, like shake the building, like bang.
Wow.
And this is in an old school building. And then you hear me, I'm sitting right there. I go, they're leaving now. I had no idea they had walked out of the room, you know? And then while they're gone, I start just blah, 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 blah. And it's like, who was that? Of all these things in there, who was I speaking for, you know?
This for people who might not know, this is the Estes experiment, correct? That's a spirit box running into headphones.
Yes.
And then the person with the headphones is hearing what's coming out of the box. If anything's spoken, they say what is most clear. Usually if it's too muddy, you wouldn't say it. And they're not privy to the question, so you remove the influence of you're looking for the answer, so you're hearing it part of it.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's sensory deprivation, basically, but it's also a form of channeling. So I call it human antenna, you know, for the spirit. So.
And for everybody watching that's investigators, if you haven't tried this experiment, this is a fantastic way to get intelligent responses in a very haunted location. We did this in Trans-Allegheny and got great responses, got really active communication that was very intelligent and responsive to what we were actually saying and doing.
It's a great method.
We did it at Kingsland Manor where we went for the 4-mansion tour. It was me and another gentleman, Patrick. We had 2 separate spirit boxes with headphones, and we were in the root cellar. So we were underground with a trap door over us. And I think, was it you? Somebody sneezed, and Patrick said, "Bless you," and he didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's the kind of stuff that I love when I watch it back and you're like, oh my God.
That's really cool. We've used that method when we were on the Queen Mary, and it does work. And when it works, it works very well.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, we have so many good people in here. I just want to say hi to everybody. I love this is my family. I love them.
Katie Holte, one of the best ghost box builders in the biz. She's
Ron
awesome.
has told me so much about you. I haven't met her yet, but
Yeah, I was showing you some of her boxes and some of her husband's thieves in Gettysburg too. They're fantastic at what they do.
oh my God, they're amazing. This one, so this one's almost more of a silhouette, but you can see him there in that circle. Now, if you remember on Ghost Hunters, they did an episode here at Randolph County Infirmary, and this is in Indiana. And I think it was Grant that slept in that, and that would have been the fridge, like a walk-in refrigerator for that.
Right.
But I think that was the one, the door shut by itself. So it's just interesting to see. It's almost like a hunchback figure coming out, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I caught him right then. So
that's cool.
There's some great transparency to the figure too. You can see the color of the wall behind it. You can actually see the shadow through where it looks to be his arm hanging down. You can see the shadow from the corner there. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. He's embossed looking, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain when they kind of look like that, but
Yeah, Chris is right.
Yep.
No surprise, Chris is right, but Chris is right.
It's good to be right.
He has a highly acute sense of detail and observation, and that's actually a great point, because that does speak to the anomalous catch and the quality of it.
Yeah.
That it has both of those attributes going on.
Right.
All right, this one is so creepy, you guys. Ugh. It gets me goosebumps just thinking of it. All right, so this one is at Wilson Castle. So this is after we were there for a weekend. I think this was the first morning waking up there. We had the first night, so much weird stuff happening. She did not want us in her room. We slept in what's called the bride's room. One of the other investigators, we lay down maybe 5 minutes. We all have air mattresses out, maybe 5 minutes in, bam, on the end of his air mattress. He didn't sleep all night. He's like, I can't sleep. She don't want me in here. She don't want me in here. He was so freaked out the whole weekend. But when we walk in, I think I sent you this picture. I meant to. Hopefully you can see okay. When we walk in, I see this picture on the mantle downstairs. And I can't stop looking at it. And I couldn't figure out why. But when you look at these pictures, this is in the bride's room in her mirror. I took maybe 20. This is the succession here. But the first one is my face. The second one on the right, the face is erased. The third one, it's dead eyes. Looks like there's eyeliner, makeup.
Yeah.
That's not my face. The last one is not me. And I'll tell you, I got jumped at this location. And I think it was her. Compare the pictures. But when I tell you for probably 4 months, I didn't see through my own eyes. I mean, I got jumped and it was her. And it wasn't me. I mean, it's really hard to explain, but that was so scary and it still shakes me up.
Wow. Try to go back to that original picture, would you?
Never had that before.
Yeah, that's creepy. You showed us that actually when we were in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And I can't help but agree with, especially the third photo when it has the eyeliner kind of and dead eyes. I mean, those look like eyes in some kind of automaton from Doctor Who. I mean, that's
you got lipstick on.
Yeah.
They're not even pointing the same direction.
No. And I want to point out something too, is if you look really close in the third picture where it looks like the eyeliner compared to the first picture, they're above each other, right?
Yeah.
Look at the distance between the brows.
You're right.
The distance between the brow completely changes. And then if you look at the fourth picture, the jawline actually changes and almost matches the drawing that you showed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point, Chris, and you're right.
Just the fact that second one was just like
blur,
erased my face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, what's even more creepy than that is if you compare the first picture at the top to the one below, you can almost see the shape of the eyes get larger and more round compared to the smaller elongated eyes above the picture. So in a world of law enforcement where you're looking at a composite of a suspect, so when it changes, when you get three different composites where somebody could change their hair, somebody could change their face, or somebody could change their facial, their facial hair. The one thing that never changes is the width of the eyes, the brow of the nose, the scope of the chin. But if you look between the first one and the third one, it's a complete change. It looks like two different people. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is an odd collection. It's like extreme ghost makeover.
I know, right?
Right. That's a great point.
1 out of 10, I probably wouldn't do it again. Just saying. You know.
Yeah, that would almost be one where I'd have to actually have somebody do a blessing on me before I left.
I had a lot of work done. Had a lot of work done.
I bet.
Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Now this one, I can tell you this one's pretty quick, but this is on a thermal camera. This is the old burying grounds in North Carolina. It's out on the coast. And this figure was not in any of the other ones, but he's in this one. And I blew him up, and you can see, and he's kind of like the overseer of the grounds is what I get from this. And I also had another psychic who I was talking to, and she's like, yeah, he's kind of like, I guess you would refer to him as like the soul keeper or something. You know what I mean? He kind of just watches over everything.
Only about 2 hours from us. We should check that out.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the eyes and everything, and like a creepy mouth, and that how tall that thing would be like 10, 11 feet tall. I mean,
that's like me, Tony, right?
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Very intimidating, Ron.
Yeah, so scary.
Yeah, I had a stiff neck from looking up.
I know. I bet. Yeah, that's all I got for that one, though. That was eerie when I got that.
Now, this next one is one of my absolute favorites.
Thank you. I sent this to them. This is, I would say, my best one, and it's one of my first ones I ever got.
Chris and I were talking about this because I pulled it up prior to you coming on. And what's really fascinating about this is, and Chris, of course, pointed this out, but if you see the light coming in the hallway where it's standing, there's no shadow being cast.
Yeah, it's not casting a shadow.
There's not. You're right.
What an observation that is. He's spot on.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I'll tell you, I have looked at this in every different kind of like lighting and like contrast. And this picture is probably 6-7 years old, and it still blows my mind. Like, how was that there? You know what I mean? Like, so that room is actually the surgical room where they were doing experimental surgeries at Waverly Hills. So they were popping lungs and trying to make artificial lungs and do all these different experiments to try to cure TB. So this is actually way further down the hallway. It's pitch black. The light you're seeing come in isn't even a light. That's from the moon.
Wow.
So this is all the way lightened up. So, I mean, this is pitch black.
Even more so why it should be casting a shadow then, because that's moonlight coming in.
Yep.
And the funny thing is when we look at stuff like this and you enhance it like you did in the second photo, usually the second photo gives you more stuff to look at, but this one's fantastic because the first photo you took actually has the most more predominant detail. Stuff with the detail in it.
Exactly.
And the fact that it's not casting a shadow, you can see the light coming through the door is the biggest point of detail on this photo. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great observation. I mean,
the other thing that's so great about it is that there's no confusion between what's a wall, what's the background, what's the floor. It's very apparent there is something independent standing on the floor at the doorway in front of the wall behind it. I mean, there's no confusion there.
Yeah.
Something is standing there.
Someone would say it's matrixing, though.
No.
It's
Not that
not.
first photo. Let's make it a tad bit more creepy. Your standard door frame height is 6'8", which makes that figure about
Really tiny.
4'6" if you look really close at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, see, Waverly, after it was a TB hospital, was also a nursing home. So that guy, he looks like he's got white hair. So I personally think he was there when it was a nursing home. I don't think he was one of the TB patients, but just with the hands in the pockets and like the shiny shoes and everything, I mean, top to bottom, that
was indicative of a time period around then too. I mean, that doesn't look like a 28-year-old in a hoodie holding a K2. I mean,
exactly.
Right.
And I've seen that. I've seen hoodies and K2s. Don't think I haven't. I've been around.
Although he does look like he's wearing an EVPI hat.
Really zoom in. Yeah.
But
that's fantastic.
Even its stance is what you would probably expect to see. I mean, it looks like maybe he's got his hand hanging off his belt or in his pocket, or it's a normal stance that you would expect to see. And you can see the arm, at least the left arm, and both legs. That's an incredible shot.
You can see the footing, you can see the feet. That's a humanoid figure.
Yeah.
And if there was nobody down there, then that is anomalous, and people cannot agree with it and accept it, and it doesn't change it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I never put anything, I put all these pictures up and I never say this is a spirit, I just say, what do you guys think? Because I can't explain it, but I always say, I'm skeptic, but I've seen more than enough to know.
Well,
but
anybody looking at that picture can try and debunk it all they want, but a human standing down there and you snapping that photo is going to cast a damn shadow.
Right.
That thing's not casting a shadow.
And you're right, especially with the moon, because it would be above him, so it would be coming down. I mean, yeah.
Ooh, missed.
This is interesting. This is at Landos Mohican Castle. This is in Ohio as well. So this is actually a freeze frame from the video, but I was with a friend and I'm like, I am like ice cold, only on one half of my body, only on the left half. And we're like standing over the well, which is where they say it's like a ley line and there's, a bunch of activity right there. And then on closer inspection, when you blow it up, I mean, this is a kid, that's got a creepy face. You can see the eyes, real big mouth.
Yeah, he's got a mouth like the Joker.
Wow.
Yes.
I just pointed out something really, it looks like it has horns.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
And there's also next to it, there's like another, which I think is more matrixing, but I mean, there's other stuff around it too. It's not just that, but I mean, that's very well manifesting a child or something,
That's pretty cool. So with your own, was this only captured on the camera? You said it was video, but
it's on video.
Was it spotted? Did anyone see it with their own eyes? Was this a mist formation or
no? All I had was the feeling, and it was only on the left side of my my left leg. I was just I don't know. I just said point the camera over here real quick because I felt like something was touching my leg or holding on to it or something. And then when I saw that, I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
So Kayla, when you had that feeling, was it a nauseous feeling or was it just a feeling of unease?
It was electric. It was electric. I mean,
really?
it was just
vibrating, yeah.
Wow.
And it was interesting when we first got to the property. The woman who does the booking and all that, she kind of gave us a little walk around and stuff like that. And she's like, there is a kid around you. There is just a kid around you. She kept saying the whole hour that she was walking us through the cemetery and everything like that. So just to see that, I mean, everything kind of lined up, a little validation, I think. So
very cool.
Yeah, the more corroboration for something when it matches the lore or what people have reported before having seen or experienced or captured, that always adds to the credibility for sure.
Well, real quick, if you can see, I don't know. So this is from Landall's page, but this is a guest submission of a girl in a blue dress. Here, it's backwards.
There you go.
Sitting on the couch. Can you kind of see it?
Oh yeah, I can see the blue. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Wow.
So that makes me kind of wonder, is that the same thing, you know? This is kind of, okay, we're brand new with the lady standing behind the wall. This is like down the road. So this is at the Buxton Inn. And this is a fireplace that he's standing right in front of. Nobody was in there. I went in and I just was like heading home and I just stopped here and I was like, went in and I talked to the front desk girl. She's like, oh yeah, none of the rooms are rented. I'm just kind of, you know, hanging out here. So she took me through all the rooms and was like showing me everything. And I just took everything like a video on my phone. I got plenty of EVPs, especially in the wine cellar. And then on the way out, I took a picture and that was the one. And I'm like, that's a man standing there looking at the mantle. There's a clock on the top of it. And it was like, he was like looking at the clock. I don't know who it is or what he was doing there, but the girl was like way short and she was sitting at the desk. So nobody else was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was interesting. The other two, no, he was not in there. So,
But the no vacancy sign was still on.
yeah. He's like, don't come in here. This one is one of my favorite places, and I have kind of like exclusive access to this place. They don't really do like ghost stuff, but so this is it's called Wickland. It's the home of 3 governors in Kentucky, and the woman who takes care of it, she's awesome. She always lets me come down there, and she teaches me so much about the history of this place. But as many times as I've been there, I usually get other stuff like mails, and this time on my way out, I was leaving. Yeah, I took this when I was leaving. And I was just like, I know she's up there in that bedroom. And this would have been like the master bedroom, I believe. And there's a woman right there in the curtains, you know.
With the hat,
awesome.
those sun hats or something too.
Yeah.
Like sticking out like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The style of clothing, the hair, the hat.
And I mean, they had money, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
but it's all period dating to probably the time frame of that. That's awesome. That one's
For people watching too, who expect to see the clarity of a digital Kodak photo or something every time you catch something like this, if this is a manifestation from another realm, a parallel dimension, whatever it is, there's going to be some level of degradation to the quality of it if you capture it. Who knows at what point it would manifest sharper or less sharp, or we don't really know how it happens.
right.
yeah.
So the fact that it's not like absolutely like a wallet-sized photograph from Sears doesn't mean that it's not a valid catch, because really nothing like that should be there.
Right.
That's a great point. Also, it's not 3D physical material. It's probably not reflecting light like cameras expect in order for the photograph to be captured. So yeah, they're never probably going to be perfectly clear. And if they were, you probably weren't even sure you were photographing an entity or a spirit. It would look like a regular human. So
well, and to add to that too, if you don't believe it's from another dimension or another realm, and you believe that spirits are energy and they use energy to manifest themselves, for a spirit to produce enough energy to manifest itself to be digitally clear, that's not a house I'd want to go into to begin with, right? So
it's so creepy, but I love it there.
But the best part about this picture is you have a second window next to it with nothing in it.
Right.
So you have a comparison portion to the photo, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with Justin on that one. Absolutely. That would be a depends moment for sure.
It's like I spent so many hours in that room too, you know, like it's crazy. But yeah, and she's white too. She doesn't have any color to her skin. I mean, she's white as those curtains are.
Yeah.
That's another school of thought too, that people suggest that if something needs the energy or it has the challenge of manifesting to be visible at all, that oftentimes that's why the apparition is partial, because it need not manifest or waste energy on anything that's not going to be an identifier. Like you see apparitions without feet. You would recognize Aunt Bertha if you saw her face and her shoulders. You wouldn't need to see her ankles and her toes.
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
Or you can recognize Aunt Bertha just by her feet. One of the two.
Right.
That'd be a little weird.
Not my kind of fear. Yeah.
A little weird. But yes.
This one, it was interesting. So when I watched the video, this actually lines up for this location. I got a woman that goes, shh, they're filming on the video. I haven't released any of this video yet. One of the clips I sent you also is on the same floor. But this is at Eloise Asylum in Westland, Michigan. This looks like a nurse's hat. You see, like, you can see her. I mean, you can see the beginning of her face here. Like, you can almost see 2 eyes and a nose. I mean, I think that's one of the nurses, and that is one of the nurses' rooms too. Like the not a nurse's station, but I don't know. That was eerie. That place is something else.
That's a great catch. You can also see that the pattern of the hat does not mesh with the peeling paper or whatever it is of the rest of the image. So it's not that.
Mm-hmm. And it's behind the glass. I mean, it's not, you know.
Right.
Well,
that one's a little harder to convince people, but I mean, I see it. So
I can definitely see it. What would be really cool is to find out or get a sample of a nurse's hat from that time period and be able to say, here's what it looks like. Oh my God. Yeah, it does match.
You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That would be
I bet
cool.
I could too. I bet I could.
Yeah, I bet you probably could.
I have one of those hats. I have one of those hats that has EVPI on it.
Get out.
Yeah, well, the nurse is just doing this.
I hope I can get that one day.
So we have a question. Where was that again? That's the Eloise Asylum just outside of Detroit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That is on, I think, the 2nd floor.
What a fantastic assortment of locations too so far already.
Thank you.
I'm getting jealous here.
Yeah.
I do what I can.
These obviously weren't taken in 4 days.
No.
This was the EDPI 4-day trip right here. This is
almost full. I've been gone almost every weekend for 2 years right now. Okay.
Wow.
And I haven't even touched it. I'm out of room. I have to dump my camera every 2 weeks. I mean, I'm like, my phone's like, stop taking pictures, please stop. I'm out of room. This one is at Wilson Castle. This is up in one of the bedrooms, but that dress, I think they had like on one of the shows, they had like that door. It's in a closet, that door like closed by itself or whatever. So there are multiple pictures of like a full apparition wearing that dress throughout the house. But when I looked back, I'm like, that almost looks like the collar and everything, watching us outside.
Here's let's add a creepy factor to that. In the early 1920s, 1930s, that would have been a funeral dress.
It's a mourning dress. And that's why they see her all over the house. And she's like distraught, and that I think is the same person who I told you who hit the mattress and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So the whole time I'm there, I didn't really get any connection to that dress. I'm like, okay, whatever, door shut, but yeah, I don't know. After seeing that, I'm like, maybe she was there,
Yeah, which almost makes you wonder the spirit that's there must have still been in mourning when she passed in order to be wearing that dress still.
Yeah, to have multiple pictures of her caught,
right.
like wearing
if you look at the picture, of the dress, it looks like there's a hat.
There is a hat. Yep.
There is.
On top
Yeah,
of it.
well, look at the top of the photo above where the white is. That almost looks like the emblem.
Yeah,
it does.
Front. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
It's almost like she's bowing her head too. If you look really close too,
right here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's a good catch, son.
Oh man, that place is the real deal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, so someone check out this link to a photo at the asylum with the nurses. Okay, so I need to look at that after we're done here. This is at Bel Air House. This was super weird. There's actually more than just these 2 pictures. But this is like a shadow figure here. And this is Edwin's room, which everyone is super afraid of. This is where Kristen Lee had her experiences. But for me, I don't know if it's a false sense of security or what it is, like luring me in there. I love Edwin's room. That's my safe place in that entire house. The whole house could be going haywire. I'll go in there. I'm fine. It's so weird. But this was my partner at the time, and he's in there. And I'm like, something's off in here. Like, you shouldn't be in here. You know, like, I was like, something's weird. We were just doing a walkthrough. We're getting ready to leave. We've just been there all weekend. And there's this like black smoky thing that just like, it's in a big ball. And then it just kind of like comes out. It's like in his back, but there's also like a white part to the top of it, up near the shoulders. Like it's kind of like going, I don't know, like attaching itself to him. That was weird. I mean, we had more than enough stuff that weekend to, you know, I don't need any more evidence. I think everyone was thoroughly freaked out.
That place never disappoints. We spent 2 nights in that room, and I didn't sleep much the first night. I don't think I slept at all the first night. But
I believe it. That's the one place I almost drove home at 4 a.m. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm hearing some guy walking around. You know, I'm like, nope, I'm going home. I can't. Okay, this one, I can't disclose the location, but I caught many figures like this. There was a documented death that happened in this room here. This is a bowling alley turned haunted house. And there's a guy back there on the couch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lounging.
Yep.
that I see.
You can almost see his arms are crossed, kind of sitting like this.
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking at his profile.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think that's the guy who got shot in there. It was kind of like a breaking and entering, and he was killed.
Wow.
Oh.
But that was recent. I mean, that wasn't too long ago. And then the one on the right, I think, is the guy who always sits at the bar, and he's passed on, but he was a regular there. But there was a huge energy, and I could just feel him sitting at the bar. I could just, you know, so just to catch that in the birthday stuff, I'm like, what even is that? You know?
Yeah.
It's like a smudge.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
Wow.
Great picture.
Like I said, there's so many of them.
Crazy.
I'll speed it up here since we're.
We've been there. That place is great.
Yep, Dobbin House. So Dobbin House is really cool. Mr. Dobbin had like 11 kids, and they all slept in the upstairs. And they always say if you take one of those like tours down there, you know that, oh, watching the top floor, you'll see a kid poke out every now and then. And I was there for like 4 days. Every night I would go by, I'd take a bunch of pictures. And then one night, 1 out of like 500 pictures, I actually got someone poking out.
It's probably Mrs. Dobbin's 11 kids finally killed her.
Right? Help me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at how there's detail in the rocks on the outside of the wall and absolutely none in the face.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. There is no detail in that face.
It's like
I
mine where it was
disagree.
erased, you know?
There's some white eyes in that face, and that is the only detail in that face. Look close.
Yeah.
That is creepy as hell.
Uh-huh.
And it's not even a fully formed face, which is what's
No.
about it. It's like a half.
No, but it looks like it's looking right at you taking the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That's one of I guess I'm always at the right place, right time kind of situation.
I love this because we don't always get photo evidence in this abundance.
No.
Yeah.
I told Ron, I said, you're about to get 5 bazillion pictures.
She did say that, and that was the number she gave me.
5 bazillion, exactly.
I had to take off my shoes to count that high, but she's right.
Kayla, I'd almost have to say that you're a slight bit sensitive because we could get, and I'm not bagging on any of our guests prior to you, but we could get 500 photos from other guests and they not be this clear with so much detail and an ability to debunk. I mean, these are fantastic captures, man.
Yeah, these are good. These are good. No doubt about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely working on the psychic abilities still. I'm not claiming anything, but this is at Bobby Mackey's in Kentucky here. So you can see there's like, it almost looks like a creature, and he's like, that's the bar. He's like this over the bar.
Yeah.
He's got like pointy ears. I don't know. He's super eerie. That picture freaks me out. And I'm not the only one that's caught that. I talked to someone at Hinsdale 2 weeks ago. he's like, I've caught that same thing. I'm like, get out of here. That's crazy. Like,
well,
what is it?
Anybody that's seen shows with Bobby Mackey's and seen pictures of Bobby Mackey's, that Jägermeister sign there, that is like a pony wall, and right behind that is the bar, and there's a row of bar stools behind that mist that you're seeing.
Okay.
So this mist is between the pony wall and the bar stools, which makes it even more credible.
Yeah, he's like, his face is resting on it almost, you know.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He's creepy. He's cool, but he's creepy.
Ears, everything.
Yeah, Justin T, we agree. This is some of the best
very
photos
much so.
that we've seen.
Thank you. This is in Gettysburg as well. This is at the Shriver House Museum. So Mr. Shriver wanted to open a bar down in the basement. Unfortunately, during the battle, he was killed, so it never, came to fruition. But the first one, you've got like a blue dash. I've never had this before. And the second one, it's almost manifesting taller. The third one, it's like it's about to come over the bar, Nobody else was down there when I took that, so it's not like up somebody's light or anything like that. But it's just weird how it can go from one line into a full figure like that.
Yeah, it diffused itself somehow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never seen it before or after, so that was, I don't know, unexplainable for me. That one.
Yeah.
What's really weird is we're seeing more of this. We watched a show yesterday, and then we've seen some other evidence where they that's blue light like that, where they caught an entity form. This is. I mean, it's relatively. It's almost like they're finding new ways to communicate. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Maybe it is just like another outlet, some way they're able
Right.
to kind of
If
manifest.
you look at the third shot, there's almost a human body shape form behind the original rectangular blue light. If you
Right.
look right, like head,
Mhm.
shoulder,
Yeah.
arm here,
Hmm.
carrying looks like a wash basket or something. But
It does almost. Yeah, it does. You're right.
Hmm.
But Gettysburg, I mean, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Gettysburg.
not even shocked that you would get any of this stuff, I mean.
okay. Let me just look at the time.
Sure.
Just for anybody listening on KGRA, we're going to continue the show. So if you're listening on KGRA, they are going to flip over to their show at 7:00. But if you go to YouTube or Facebook, you can continue to watch Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence, because Kayla's got some great photos here. And if you want to continue seeing them, just flip over and you'll be able to see it. So, all right. Next photo. Where did I leave off?
The blue light. There you go.
Yeah. So this one's kind of just a quick one too, but this
one's fascinating.
This one is at Landell's Mohican Castle, where I got that purple figure, that kid. Same place, different time, like 2 years later. So we're doing the communication session here, and it was really cold, so I'm like super bundled up. But once again, like same as you remember me saying from the Archive of the Afterlife, the two are sitting there, they're asking questions, and it's like bang, and all the lights on the campus go out. And then he said, "Oh, they're here now." And then I said something like responding to them, like, "We're all coming," or something. So I have all this on video. I'll have to get it up. But the first one, nothing. And when he took the second one was at the time where the big bang happened and like all the lights were going out and stuff. So
how much time elapsed between those two pictures?
seconds.
So I mean that's fascinating, because anything of physical form to have moved in to the frame seconds after the first picture would have left some kind of a blur. There would have been some kind of a trail.
Mhm.
I mean that's a clean, like it's. I mean the edging is diffused.
Yeah, but it's solid. I mean, it's black. It's solid.
Yeah.
Sound like to me.
You froze there for a minute, Ron.
Oh, so
Voice.
No, we're good with Kayla.
Beep bop, beep bop.
Tony and Ron and Lourdes froze there for a second. There they go.
They're back. They're back.
Yay.
They're there.
But yeah, I mean, all this is on video, so I do have that's what I say. I always try to have something to back up what I put out. So just to see the timeline of these two, it's weird. And then with the bang, I mean, we were having that for a while. We were having every time something like a pivotal moment, it was just like boom, like something would happen. I don't know why or what it was.
The fantastic thing about these two pictures is people can say it's a slightly different angle, but if you look at the shadow coming across, it crosses past your hood. So even if it is just a slightly different angle, it still would have been caught up in both pictures.
Yeah,
It's not.
right.
And the first one, the person taking the photograph is actually closer unless she zoomed them and zoomed
I think
them
that
rapidly.
one zoomed in a little further, but both of the people that were there were sitting on the floor. So, I mean, they were at about the same height I was, so it's not like they were standing up taking the picture, and that's not like their shadow, which you can see. I mean, it is at a low angle.
Yeah,
so.
your entire lower body is blacked out. You can't even see your face. You can see remnants of your hand inside of your hood.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yep.
And all you can see there is the K2. That's
Yeah. Oh, which was also going crazy on the video too, which you can see.
There we go.
This one's one of my favorites too. This is at the same time I got the guy in the doorway, but this is the cafeteria.
Oh, wow.
And that room right behind this figure is the children's cafeteria. And I believe that's a kid poking over the serving table right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's creepy.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. What are you doing?
Yeah. Where's dinner? You know, like, I'm
my
sorry.
I didn't get my pudding. This is bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that sure looks like it.
But the last one, I mean, you can definitely see eyes, nose,
Yeah.
you know, even some hair, like a hairline there. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dark-haired little boy. That's
Yep.
you can almost see his brow line too on that one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you can.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You know, it almost looks like he's going like this.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
with the hand. Yeah.
Yes,
does.
it does.
It does. It sure does.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
exactly
yeah.
what it looks like.
Look, like,
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's going like this.
or almost like this, even.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's definitely a hand. I agree with him.
Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
Oh, that's what the bird calls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
all right. Oh
Okay,
wow.
this one, Wilson Castle. This is I don't know if people can ever really see this the way I see it, but this is taken in a fisheye mirror on the other side of the castle upstairs. The mirror you can see in the back here. That is right outside the bride's room. That's where we slept. That's where we had all the activity happen.
That almost looks like a Catholic priest.
Well, I think that's her in that dress. That's her dress. That's her wedding dress. And that's right outside her room. And if you see, it looks like it doesn't really have feet almost, but it's kind of like manifesting.
You can see her hair, her
Yeah.
forehead, her eyes, her nose, her neckline of the dress,
Yes.
and
And then in the
the
second
dress.
one,
But
she's standing like at a weird like curve, like,
well,
you know.
she has no legs. The dress cuts off about here,
Yeah.
She's turned
Yeah.
like
right
this.
here.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And here, she looks full framed because the dress comes down. It looks like she's sitting on
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
the windowsill or ledge or whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a mirror right behind her.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and
And
if you look
in
really
the first, you can see the reflection of the back of the head in that mirror.
right, and if you look really close, you can actually see the tiers of the dress. If you look to the dress over to the left, over
On
to
the
the right,
left, you can, yep. Mhm.
but if you look to the right or left, right,
It's
left,
almost straighter, like
Yeah, you can see the actual edges of each tier of the dress. Wow, that's fantastic.
That's really cool.
I'm like, that's kind of like one of my big ones, but I'm like, I can feel like I kind of have to explain it because it's at a really weird, the way I caught it. But
wow.
I think that's her, Dang, you guys, I'm sorry. That's a lot of pictures.
I'm going to do this one yet. And then if there's one that you definitely want to show that I haven't, otherwise I'm going to skip over to the video.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. That one, I think this might be like an orderly or something back here, but you can see there's a figure down at the end of the hallway down there behind a chair.
Looks like two.
Yeah, that's the one to the right of it. I can't make that one out, but the one looks like
there's a face here of a man, looks like he's in a suit, and there's another face here, more of a side angle.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Was there writing on the wall?
No.
There is.
There is writing.
Yes, there is.
Above the two, there's 3 words.
Dos de Santos?
What?
Is that what that is?
I'm trying to move it.
Okay, I'm like, okay, what?
Too close. It picks right there.
No, go back more.
A little bit more.
Like you can read it better almost on the original frame. You can pick out, so you can see the words. There's 1, 2, 4 words.
Interesting.
You guys are so
outline that and show it to me. I can't see, but I mean, I know in the actual building there's
I can see exactly what you're talking about.
anything.
It's almost written at an angle like this.
Like this, above the heads.
Right.
Okay.
It's going like this.
There's 4 words.
Yeah, it starts at the corner and goes up to the door frame.
What?
Literally from left to right.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, I can see that now. That's
okay, I can see it.
Wow, Chris and Audra belong together. This is perfect.
Right. The eye for detail there.
That is amazing.
You can almost read it here.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2,
3, 4. There's 4.
The last one starts with an S.
And there's a T.
That's right.
T seated. I don't know.
Santo.
It looks like Santo. It does look like Santo.
It does look like Santo, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So what's fantastic about this picture is looks like you've got 2 entities, and it almost looks like they're sending you a message.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I mean,
Kayla, honestly, you may want to do with this one what you did with that earlier one where you used the contrast and you yellowed it a little bit with the color change. Something might make those letters pop. That is a fantastic photo and observation.
Sure.
That really is. Like, what?
I thought there was writing on the wall and 2 pictures on that wall. Literally. That's what it looks like to me.
There definitely looks like writing. I mean, I can see.
I don't know what it said. It's almost like a.
I think you should do what Ron mentioned and do the contrasting with the different colors to get that.
Yeah, I will.
I think it says if you can read this, you're Audra Keeler. That's amazing. That is really amazing from an investigative assessment of evidence point of view. That's freaking amazing that she saw that. Yeah. That really is impressive.
But anyway, I haven't gone through the ones from the last 2 years, so get ready because there's a lot more coming. So I gotta play catch up.
For the number of photos that we went through, that was some impressive impressive captures.
Fantastic. It was fun.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to some video that we have. And the first one, okay, again, I'm gonna play it, and then we can talk about it after because they're just numbered again. So here's the first one.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
It's a tiny clip. Hopefully you can hear it okay.
Let's play that one more time. Well, probably help if I played the right one instead of
that was cool.
That was very cool.
I was listening, not watching.
Let's go back to the first one. Here it is.
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
hear it. It's
Hear it.
light, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's like a
little girl.
taffy. It's a little girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes, "What happened? What happened?"
That's the tone it had too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. All right.
And that's
now
at
it's-
Waverly.
Oh, that was
Okay.
Waverly?
That's right. That's the elevator where the guy got pushed down, I think, and died or whatever right there. So that makes you wonder.
Danny
Was she
Wilson
watching
would hear it.
that?
All right. Now let's go to the one I pre-played. Here it is. This one's cool.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yes.
No idea what that is. There was nothing under the bed. That's at Bel Air House.
Ooh.
I heard a door though. Let's just watch it
Yeah.
one more time.
Well, something shut, but
Something shut and it moves right during that sound.
time. Yeah.
Or see right back there's
No.
the door. The door's open. What
It
I
hit the
thought
bottom
was
of the door frame.
it's
Or
next to the
the
bed frame. The
Yep,
wood
the
bed
bed
frame, like this.
Right.
Yeah, it pivoted up on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I
Let
thought,
me
what
go
is
back
it?
down.
You know, and I went and
Let me
looked
watch
because I
that
thought it
again.
was like a shoe or like a something someone left under the bed, maybe.
So
And
the first noise you hear is it hitting the bottom of the bed frame. The second noise you hear is it hitting that wood floor again.
Yep.
It almost sounds like a tap shoe.
yes, yeah.
All
There's
right,
nothing
one more,
but sheets there. So
one more time.
We're getting tap.
Oh yeah, you are absolutely right.
can't explain that one. That's
That's crazy.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
it's
right.
real quick, but it's real weird.
Well,
But if you've ever
you look-
listened to tap, that tap shoe, if you ever, yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like
if
too.
you look at the ball footing of the bed, you can even the cloth of it is over here. But if you pay
Right.
attention to the round ball footing of the bed, you can see it move. Let me play it one more time.
Do it again, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
What is that object? Do we know what it is?
No, she
There was
doesn't.
nothing. That's a sheet. I mean, it's like the bedspread
Wow.
hanging on. It's not hard.
That's
What is
crazy.
that
That's
sound?
A sheet? That's perhaps they're using a little too much starch.
Or was it somebody under the bed even going like maybe they were using their hand and they grabbed the sheet on their way up and went, I don't know, you know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
I don't
really
know.
that is phenomenal. Great camera
Good one.
placement that you had something there to
No
catch that.
kidding.
Because audibly you would be wondering what was that. You'd have a million guesses at what might have made the sound, but to see that,
Yeah.
You know, and on an evidence review too, you hear the noise and you go, "What the hell was that?" And then you keep reviewing it. And the minute you catch that movement, you're like, "Oh God,
You're like,
there's
what was that?
Right.
And then you're like, there was nothing there though. What it was. So now what is that? You know?
That was fantastic.
It was
That
cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll watch it again.
All right, one more time.
It kind of sounds like there's footsteps just before it gets picked up.
like something walked
Like-
to it."
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're walking to it, and then you hear the
Yeah.
The whole bed shakes. If you look up at the top, you can see the entire bed shake.
Does it?
Do it
One
again.
more,
Tony.
yep.
One more time.
All right, fine. We'll watch it again. Fine.
All right. Let's
We're
watch.
never
it.
gonna get anything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Either
little
that
bit.
or it's the focus of the camera. I'm not sure which, but it could be either.
Yeah,
But
it could be the whole bed. You're right.
it looked to me like but which is even more incredible.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
For
All right.
sure.
Next one. Here it
Yeah,
comes.
like I said, I'm a picture person, so most of my stuff is that. But
Those were great photos.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
nothing wrong with those. In fact, that was probably some of the better captures we've seen in a while. Those were
Yeah.
great.
well, thank you.
I like 2 wallet size of each.
Please,
I'll put them in your Christmas card.
Yeah. Perfect.
plaster my
Scare
wall so I
everybody.
don't sleep at night.
Yeah.
That
I'll send
woman
depends,
peeking around
too.
the corner is still going to freak me out. That one was just
Yeah.
all right. Here's the next video.
Ah,
What the hell?
Huh.
I knew you were gonna like that one.
Huh.
It's like 3 UFOs.
Right? That's what it looks like.
I've already answered that.
It looks like a bird or something. I don't know what it is.
Here's the bird.
It's like a line. Like a
Here's the best part. It's not one of those light anomalies like you see on one of those shows that are on all the time. That is, it doesn't have a shape to it. It doesn't have a round shape to it. You can't see wings. That is, wow.
It changes
Yeah,
shape. But here's the thing. I had a CCTV set up. That's my old place, which was like super haunted. And I had the camera on top of the fridge, like pointing that back door. It set off the motion, which is, I have cats. So like the motion is set to like real low sensitivity. So that must have been really strong to be able to trigger that.
Right.
Wow.
And it has no structural stability because as it's moving, it never stays the same shape.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, ironically enough, most of the activity that would always happen there was in the kitchen, So when I saw that, I'm like, yeah.
For everybody watching, the best detail that Kayla just said was she had it set so her cats, so a 20-pound cat wouldn't set off that motion sensor, but this little anomaly did, which means it actually had more energy to it than what you're actually seeing in the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play that one more time.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's my room right there with the door open. So you can just see it like right outside my room.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It looks like a bird to me. You know what I
Kind
mean?
of. Or like a ship.
Yeah. But look, right there, it doesn't. It looks like a worm. Like it like changes. It's not.
It does look like a bird, like a little drone bird.
Yeah.
Little drone bird.
It's weird. I don't know.
That's what it is.
I don't know that one.
It's funny because Lourdes goes, it's a ship, and the first thing I thought of was, are you missing any time from that night?
Yeah, right?
Now that I think about it.
All right, we have one more clip.
Okay.
Here it is.
All right, I'm going to show you this. Pretty crazy. You see Steve? He's walking back there. Casey's already back here. There he is. They go back and check it out. Okay, Casey's coming out. There's Steve. Watch out of the door. What?
That was the appropriate reaction.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I went, what the hell was that?
It's not
You
official
showed us that
video
one.
yet. That was me doing review when I caught that. But you can see a white face and it just goes like this. But after that, so I have the full video. I'll put everything up. But I go in there right after that and pan full circle around that room. There's nothing in there.
Oh.
Tony, play that again because you don't just see a face.
No,
There's
there's
a full figure.
There's
It's
a
terrifying.
whole figure.
All right, I'm going to show you this. Pretty crazy. You see Steve? He's walking back there. Casey's already back here. There he is. They go back and check it out. Okay, Casey's coming out. There's Steve. Watch out of the door. What?
What?
So I don't know if you can see. I tried to freeze frame it, but that's the figure.
Yeah.
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 You can see the shoulder. You can see the arm. You can actually see him walking.
Yeah.
You can see him almost swing.
His arm as
Yes.
he's moving.
Walking.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he does like when he's walking and everything. And that's from Eloise also.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't wait to actually like make it more presentable and people see a little clearer, but I
That
can't wait
was-
to see it clearer,
Those were great.
Thank
So,
you.
Kayla, if any of our audience wants to see other things that you've done, do you have social media channels that they can come take a look?
Yes, okay, so I'm starting on TikTok soon, so it'll be Dayton Haunted Explorers on there. But I do most of my stuff on Facebook, so you can look up Dayton Haunted Explorers on Facebook. YouTube will be, like I said, 2 years behind. All this is to come, but YouTube will be up and running again shortly. Dayton Haunted Explorers on there as well. And if you have any questions or anything, you could also DaytonHauntedExplorers@gmail.com or send me something in the messenger or however you want to do it. I'd be glad to go over any of these or talk to you about them. I get people that send me their clips and videos and pictures and stuff all the time too. I'm pretty good at analyzing that. So if you'd like to do that, you can do that as well.
Kayla, you need to keep us updated on writing. Now I'm gonna have to friend you so I can know what that says.
I will. Now I'm gonna have to, like, we get off here, I'm gonna be like, what is this? You know, like
Yeah, play around with the coloring. Play around with the coloring like you did with that other photo.
Yeah, you can probably bring it out.
You may be able to bring it out. I mean, if and then send it to Audra by all means, please.
I will, yeah.
If she could see it through that, I mean, if you can enhance it even 30%.
Oh, I'm sure I could. And I think I'll be able to do it. I'll see if I can get it done once we get off here.
Cool.
Yeah, in about 30 minutes. If you could get that to us in like 30 minutes, it would be.
Oh my gosh, you guys! All right, hold on, give me a second.
So there's definitely writing there. There is.
Yeah, that was a great catch.
It was.
Some of those are so clear you can make them out already.
Yeah.
Yeah. The writing is on the wall.
Literally. I'm sorry, where was that one again?
Right
that
above
was at
them.
Randolph County Infirmary in Indiana.
And what was the history on that one, though?
So that one is on the second floor. I believe that's in the men's wing. I can't even remember what I was doing. I was up there by myself. You know, I've been a solo investigator for like most of my time, so I do a lot by myself, which is also how I can validate these things. But I'm up there. I was just walking around, and like I think I just took a bunch of pictures. That's at the very top of the stairs. And I was just taking a bunch of the stairs. And then I think when I came back, I took a bunch of that area for whatever reason. I don't know why, but obviously someone had a message. So
yeah, wow. That's fantastic.
Sometimes I just take pictures of stuff. You never know why. And then you look and you're like, wow, oh my God. You know.
What if it's their actual names of the two gentlemen standing there? How cool would that be?
I kind of hope it is.
It looks like a sentence. It looks like a 4-word sentence, but
it almost looked like Dia de la Santo. So I didn't know if any Hispanic.
I don't know. Yeah. Now, see, that place was like a poor farm. They had like all kinds of people that stay there. I mean, they had like a jail cell in there. They had people from all over the place. They like farmed their own food. They had criminals that stayed there. They had like orphans. I mean, wide spectrum of people who stayed in there. A lot of people that shouldn't have been mixed together, which a lot of crime that happened. So definitely one of the crazier places I've been. 100% active. I would say that worth going to. Once you guys get out here, I'll take you there.
No.
Come to Ohio. It's so much fun here.
I was born there, so.
So we know you're lying.
No.
I'm lying. I am. I will admit that.
Ohio's a great place.
All right. I just want to give a special thank you to Kayla for coming on and sharing
very much so.
Fantastic set of evidence with us. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone in our audience. You guys are always great coming on, watching us each and every week. We greatly appreciate that. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you. I want to say thank you to KGRA and, of course, to our producer, Bill, for putting the show together for us each and every week.
Yep.
And Chris or Audra, I'll let you guys fight for it again. Who's doing the closing?
So this week is Halloween, y'all, and the veil has lifted. Get out. investigate, get some great captures. I seriously doubt you're going to get as many great captures as Kayla showed us tonight, but there's only one way to get those captures and be on EVPE is to stay haunted. Have a good night, guys.
I love it.
Good night.